back. We're doing some post-commentary here. We've got 3 quick games we played to clear our dailies. Nothing much to say about it. We got trounced by white aggro twice, and our other opponent quit. Literally, I think they just cleared their dailies and quit. But what I want to use this opportunity to talk about is the upcoming Monster of the Machines release this week. So, Monster Machines is going to be huge. They're introducing battles. Basically, a battle is like a permanent with life counters on it that you give to your opponents and can attack. I'm not sure how they're going to be judged so far, but I'd just like to talk about the 2 that I'm going to immediately try out in the 60 card decks, particularly in Explorer. Maybe in Pioneer, we'll see how that goes. So first, I want to start with the Mythic, the Invasion of New Phyrexia. This is a blue-white and X for a battle that enters with 6 battle counters on it. And when it enters the battlefield, you create X 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. This strikes me as kind of a fun, scalable thing. If we get it early game, we need like some blockers against aggro, we can drop it, make 2 2/2s. If it's late game draw and we need to get like 5 of them down, in a top deck war, it's really solid. It kind of reminds me of Hydroid Krasis, which was a player in early Niv to light decks, where you would basically use it to just as a body for blocking or chump or great draw engine late game. Obviously this doesn't draw cards, but it's interesting. But let's talk about the other side. If you defeat it by dealing 6 damage to it, you get Teferi, Asok of Zafir, a 4 loyalty planeswalker with +1, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature. So Faithless Looting basically. Well, kind of. -2, you get an emblem with knights you control have +1/+0 and have ward 1. And then -3, tap X creatures you control. If you do shuffle, target non-land opponent into an opponent's library with value X or less. Pretty solid, but I don't think it'll be the key thing. As I said here, I think Invasion of New Phyrexia is going to be thrown down and just used as a token generation, basically. Kind of like a, what was it called? Storm the Wastelands or whatever it was back in the day. The big one I'm going to try, and I'm going to actually probably put a lot more videos out of me trying this. I'm going to be playing the Invasion of Ravnica. It's 5 generic colorless for a 4 loyalty battle. When Invasion of Ravnica enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent that opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. So it's 5 mana, kind of like the lessened Introduction to Obliteration, except it has a restriction. Although, if you look at the meta right now, monocolored or like big splashy spells are the bigger ones that we have to worry about. Now, if you defeat it though, you get a 5/5 artifact construct creature with, whenever you cast a spell that's exactly 2 colors, look at the top 6 cards of your library and reveal a card that's exactly 2 colors from among them, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. This basically becomes a, for lack of a better term, a wandering mind for Niv spells, or a mini Niv. On a 5/5 body, artifact, so it can be dealt with in more intrusive ways. But I'm going to be trying this in the Explorer deck, definitely. It might make its way to Pioneer. I don't think it would ever make it to Modern, obviously. But with that in mind, one other thing I want to talk about is what I think battles will do to the format. So, I don't think you should build your battle deck, with the intention of flipping these battles. I think you should have that as kind of a bonus. Like the old school way of looking at a Planeswalker of like, Liliana of the Veil comes in and she's an edict, or she can just be a hand discard spell. That's the main 2 reasons you have her. But in a super late game, she could eventually just be a win condition. Similar to the way I play Path to the World Tree in the 80 card version of Niv, as you see in this deck. It comes in, it gets us a land, we can flicker it to get a bit more value, but late game we can pop it and draw 2 cards. But we don't play it for the sole purpose of drawing those cards. Now, like I said, that's how I see battles here. In an 80 card deck, flickering them with Yorion is going to be really impressive. I'm not sure where I'm going to sit on this. There's a few brew ideas I want to have. I'll put plenty of videos out of me doing this. But yeah, I think battles are going to basically be sorceries that sit on the battlefield and maybe have some flicker synergies. I don't think we're going to see decks dedicated to flipping them. Even I'm not going to go all out on flipping the Guild Pact of Ravnica, but I might be more possible than I think as well, because obviously one of the things to consider is we have a base of creatures. Niv can basically one-shot any of these battles that we talked about. Also, there is the possibility of Wandering Mind if we still run that flying over. Kiki Jiki tokens, if I'm still playing that. I'm actually considering cutting that, but that's a discussion for another time. So just look out for some of the shorts on how I feel about some of the other multicolored cards in the set.